Dr. Sarah Chen had always been told she was too trusting for her own good. Today, face to face with a 12-foot-tall apex predator from Kepler 442b, she was beginning to think her critics might have a point. The creature, designation apex, carnivorous in her field notes, stood barely 20 meters away in the alien jungle, its 6 legs planted firmly on the moss-covered ground. Its 4 yellow eyes, each the size of dinner plates, tracked her every movement with predatory focus. Razor-sharp claws capable of shredding titanium plating flexed against the earth. When it opened its maw to reveal rows of teeth that could crush starship hulls, the roar that emerged shook leaves from the towering trees above. Any sensible xenobiologist would have activated their emergency beacon and prayed the extraction. Team arrived before becoming an alien's lunch. Sarah Chen reached into her pack and pulled out a protein bar. "Easy there, big guy," she said, unwrapping the chocolate-flavored nutrition brick with practiced calm. "You look hungry. Want to try some Earth food?" The creature's roar died in its throat, replaced by what could only be described as confusion. Its massive head tilted sideways, a gesture so unexpectedly dog-like that Sarah had to suppress a smile. She broke off a piece of the protein bar and tossed it gently toward the predator. It landed with a soft thud near its front claws. The alien's eyes crossed as it looked down at the offering, then back up at Sarah, then down at the food again. "It's got chocolate and peanuts," Sarah explained conversationally, settling down cross-legged on a fallen log as if she were having tea, with a friend rather than a potential death. "Probably nothing like your usual diet, but Earth mammals seem to like it. Though I suppose you're not exactly a mammal, are you?" She pulled out her tablet and began typing notes with one hand, while holding another piece of protein bar in the other. Subject appears to be displaying curiosity behavior. Initial aggressive posturing has ceased. Possible indication of higher intelligence than preliminary scans suggested. The predator, which Sarah had mentally nicknamed Rex for its dinosaur-like proportions, sniffed at the protein bar fragment. Its massive nostrils flared, processing the alien scents. After a moment's hesitation, a tongue roughly the size of Sarah's arm emerged and delicately licked the food. Rex's 4 eyes widened simultaneously. "Good, right?" Sarah grinned, breaking off another piece. "The chocolate probably tastes completely different to your biochemistry, but sweet is pretty universal among carbon-based life forms. Sugar means energy, and energy means survival." Rex's next sound wasn't a roar, it was something closer to a rumbling purr. The massive predator lowered itself to the ground in a motion that reminded Sarah of her childhood dog begging for treats. She tossed him the second piece, which he caught mid-air with surprising grace. "You know what your problem is?" Sarah continued, pulling out her entire stash of protein bars. "Everyone who meets you probably runs screaming or starts shooting. No one's ever just sat with you, have they?" Rex's purring grew louder. When Sarah patted the ground beside her log, the enormous predator actually crawled closer. Carefully, Sarah noted, being mindful of his massive claws around her fragile human form. "Dr. Chen to base camp," Sarah spoke into her comm unit. "Never," taking her eyes off Rex. "I'm going to need you to hold off on that extraction for a while." "Sarah, your bio readings show you're in proximity to a Class A predator," came the worried voice of Mission Commander Torres. "Get out of there now." "Negative, Commander. I think I've made first contact with a sentient species." She scratched Rex behind what she assumed was an ear ridge, earning another rumbling purr that made her teeth rattle. "And he's actually quite friendly once you get past the whole designed to kill everything aesthetic. That thing nearly ate Survey Team 3. Survey Team 3 came down guns blazing and made a lot of noise," Sarah pointed out, feeding Rex another protein bar. "Rex here was probably just defending his territory, weren't you, boy?" Rex's massive head bumped against her shoulder. "Gently," she noted. For a creature that could probably bite her in half without thinking about it, he was being remarkably careful with her squishy human body. "Besides," Sarah continued, "look at this from an evolutionary perspective. He's clearly an apex predator, but apex predators don't waste energy on unnecessary kills. They're efficient, strategic, and social. Look how he's responding to non-threatening contact." She pulled out her emergency rations, dried fruit, nuts, and even a small chocolate bar she'd been saving for her birthday. Rex tried each one with the careful curiosity of a sophisticated gourmet, his massive head tilting thoughtfully as he processed the new flavors. "Dr. Chen," Taurus's voice was strained, "please tell me you're not having a picnic with an alien death machine." Sarah looked at Rex, who was now lying on his side like an enormous cat, purring contentedly as she scratched his scales. "Okay, I won't tell you that." "Sarah, Commander, when was the last time you tried to solve a problem by being kind instead of afraid?" Sarah asked. "Humans have this reputation in the galaxy as these aggressive, territorial warriors. Maybe it's time we showed the universe our other side." Rex rolled onto his back, all 6 legs in the air, clearly asking for belly rubs. Sarah obliged, marveling at how the scales felt surprisingly warm under her hands. The side that believes most conflicts come from misunderstanding. The side that would rather share a meal than fight a war. The side that looks at something different and dangerous and thinks, "I wonder if we could be friends?" Rex's purring reached a crescendo that shook the ground. "I'm going to need a bigger supply of protein bars," Sarah told her comm unit. "And maybe some proper xenolinguist equipment. I have a feeling Rex and I have a lot to talk about." In the distance, she could hear the approach of landing craft, probably a full diplomatic team, knowing Taurus's cautious nature. But Sarah wasn't worried. By the time they arrived, she'd probably have taught Rex to play fetch. After all, she'd always been too trusting for her own good. Today, it might just save 2 species from a war neither of them needed to fight. Rex nibbled delicately at her fingers, asking for more snacks. Sarah Chen smiled and obliged.